Busy day for you. Is it difficult? Fine. That's it. That's it, okay?
Christmas 1999. English conductor John Eliot Gardiner starts off on an extraordinary musical journey. With his Monteverdi choir and the English Baroque soloists, he plans to perform the entire body of Johann Sebastian Bach's church cantatas in the year 2000. Bach wrote special cantatas for each Sunday and festival day in the church calendar. Gardiner's aim is to perform them on precisely these days. Starting point for the Bach cantata pilgrimage is the city of Weimar in Thuringia. Gardiner begins his tour in the famous Herder Church with the 6 cantatas of the Christmas oratorio.
I find it immensely moving walking into this church last night. It's beautiful Herderkirche, it's the town church of Weimar. Bach's children, 3 of his sons, were baptized here. And even though Bach himself was working over in the Schloss, which is now destroyed, the connections between him and this church are very, very close. I mean, for instance, his cousin, Johann Gottfried Walter, was the organist here in exactly the same time that Bach himself was working here in Weimar. And I found it a very, very beautiful church, and with the Cranach altarpiece at the back. Suddenly to hear the music of the Weihnachtsoratorium, of the Christmas oratorio in this building, just brought the whole thing alive for me, and it was just such a moving beginning to what's now going to be 53 continuous weeks of Bach cantatas.
The project, with over 80 concerts and CD recordings, is John Eliot Gardiner's personal homage to Johann Sebastian Bach. For years, the conductor and his wife, Isabella, had been planning this massive undertaking. Choir and orchestra have been rehearsing for months, preparing for this moment. Media interest is lively. Radio and television teams are in constant attendance.
But there's a problem with this television camera, I don't know. Yep. Where are the solos?
John Eliot Gardiner explains why he's starting his pilgrimage with the Christmas oratorio.
Bach's Christmas oratorio begins with the cantata Jauchzet, Frohlocket, rejoice. From the very opening timpani fanfare, and then the way that the instruments accumulate and build up a huge head of steam, as it were, you're aware that some hugely important festival and exciting event is going to happen on Earth. And this opening chorus of part 1 of the Christmas oratorio has all the elements that make Bach the most euphoric composer that's ever existed, in a way. It begins with the timpani, then come the various instruments, the flutes, the oboes, the trumpets, building up to head of steam until this big unison outburst of the chorus of Jauchzet, Frohlocket, Christians rejoice. It's a long and extended fanfare, as it were, to the piece. Bach's music for the second day of Christmas in his Christmas oratorio contains really the essence of what Christmas means to so many people. It contains the appearance of the angel to the shepherds. It represents also the reaction of the whole of the Christian congregation and the Christian community to the events of Christ's Nativity. And it starts with one of the most beautiful orchestral pieces that ever came out of the 18th century, the famous Pastoral Symphony, written for 2 flutes and for 4 oboes. It gives it a wonderful kind of pastoral buzz and a drowsiness, but at the same time a feeling of great sensuality and tenderness, which is fitting for the birth of Christ. The Christmas oratorio, despite its incredible rigor and the discipline and almost mathematical proportions that govern it, there is the sense that from that the human spirit is allowed to float and to fly free. He tells us what it's like to be a human being as part of the universe, and he tells us how our aspirations are to a Godhead, to a life beyond.
Could we just do the last bar? Last 2 bars? 3? 3, last 3 bars. Bar 61. And... I think everybody needs to listen to the oboes to know exactly, you can anticipate where their attack is going to be on the last note. Just to do it once again, the last full bar, sorry, the last 2 bars now. Last 2 bars. And...
The backbone of these 6 cantatas is the biblical narrative, the Gospels of St. Matthew and St. Luke, delivered by an evangelist, by the tenor in this case. Now, the difference between that and the other great oratorios of Bach, the St. Matthew and the St. John Passion, is that these events have much less direct speech than the Passions do. There's very much less opportunity for a dramatic realization of the text. In fact, the only 2 named characters who sing are the angel and Herod. For the rest, it's done in indirect speech. But this is the linking device that Bach uses to maintain the momentum, the dramatic momentum, through all the 6 pieces.
Okay, here's number 2 coming up. Shh, hush, please. Verzeihung. Es ist zu viel Geräusch hier. Wir können nicht proben, wenn es gibt so viel Geräusch. Bitte schön.
Es begab sich aber zu der Zeit, dass ein Gebot von dem Kaiser Augusto ausging, dass alle Welt geschätzt würde. Und jedermann ging, dass sich schätzen ließe, ein jeglicher in seine Stadt. Da machte sich auch auf Josef aus Galiläa, aus der Stadt Nazareth in das jüdische Land, zur Stadt David, die da heißt Bethlehem.
The role of the evangelist in the Christmas oratorio, as in the other big works, the Passions, is really to tell the story. But I think it happens on 3 levels. On the one hand, you tell the story as it happened or supposed to happen, and on the other hand, I think also Bach brings in a kind of interpretative color of his own. So in a way, the evangelist, at the same time as he tells the story, he also interprets what he is saying.
Und es waren Hirten in derselben Gegend auf dem Felde bei den Hürden, die hüteten des Nachts ihre Herde. Und siehe, der Herren Engel trat zu ihnen, und die Kleid des Herren leuchtet sie. Und sie furchten sich sehr.